It comes naturally.
Well, sometimes, it doesn't come naturally. And that's where I come in to help you figure out what to do to that home, darn it, whether it's inside or outside. My name's Cindy Dole. This is Home Wizards, and thanks for joining the ride. We like to have some fun and laughs along the way. And a couple of my favorite lines when it comes to gardening that I hope will ease your fears are this. Number one, to get a better garden, get a chair and just sit there and take a look around and listen. And then all of a sudden, it'll become understood what you need to do, because the most important thing is just to get out in it. And the other thing, number two, this other great landscaper told me once, forget about this whole green thumb, brown thumb versus each other thing. There's no such thing, this one expert tells me, because we're all apt to kill plants. So then once you forget about all that, get out of your system, now all of a sudden you say, okay, now I'm ready to have some fun in the garden. So before you go to the nursery, which is my little candy store, you have to have a little bit of a vision and have some ideas. And so I thought we would get that with a certified nurseryman who has a deep knowledge of plants and gardens, and he happens to do a lot of talking at the LA County Arboretum. His name is Mark Hall, and he recently did a great class on berries, which, believe it or not, is very, very a great thing to grow in Southern California. So Mark, thanks for being here with us today.
My pleasure, Cindy. It's great to be with you.
So how did that berry class go? What did you tell everybody to be planting right now?
It was excellent. Thank you for asking. We were looking at a variety of berries that were pretty easy to start with, including strawberries. We had blackberries, olala berries, and blueberries were featured.
Oh, yeah. We talked with some friends at Monrovia Nursery recently about the blueberries and how some of these bushes and the varieties can have beautiful variegated leaves on top of the bonus of getting the berry to eat.
Absolutely. They're coming out with a lot of amazing varieties like that. What we are talking about is berries that were hybridized. The eastern blueberries that grow in New Jersey and Maine were hybridized sometime back in probably the 50s and 60s with some of the Florida or southern varieties, and then these are now the hybrids that we're using in our backyard gardens.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So these are what they call the southern high bush varieties, but they're very popular.
So can anybody grow berries right now? I mean, can you grow berries in a container, let's say?
Absolutely. A lot of them are shallow rooted. I would say strawberries kind of was the easiest for me growing up. We grew up in Culver City and then moved out to the Inland Empire. We always had strawberries wherever we went and made a garden for them. And they are very adapted to containers, but make sure they're deep enough. They need to be probably 12 to 14 inches deep, and then probably deeper for some of the cane berries like raspberry or boysenberry.
And if you're really lucky with the blueberries, are you going to get just tons and tons of blueberries?
It's hard to say. You would like to.
Not that I'm greedy or anything, but I just had to.
No, none of us are, but we like that. Hey, who wouldn't want to pick a ripe berry? But you will get some samples, even the first year. Some of the easier ones for the listeners and fellow gardeners would be Sunshine Blue, and there's O'Neill, which is spelled like Ryan O'Neill, and there's also one called Misty, and these are all really geared for low chill. We're talking mid-city out to San Bernardino area, and you can grow them in pretty much full sun out towards the ocean, a little bit of shade inland where we live.
Oh, good. I was going to say how many hours of sun, because I live on a very shady street. I mean, we're lucky to get 4 hours of sun.
Absolutely. They don't do too bad, but if you have a surface like even a garage door and you can position a container. To give you an idea, we grow ours in wooden boxes, like those tree boxes you see, maybe along the 605. We grow them in containers. Didn't have too much luck with them in the ground, but we grew them with a mixture of peat moss and just a really nice potting soil combination.
Okay. How about other edibles? What would you suggest right now that we try in terms of citrus or yeah?
There's with citrus, it's important to get a lot of sun. There are some container ones, of course. Kumquats are in season right now, and they were in season really since February. They're really good, just fresh off the tree. Kumquats can be grown in a fairly large container and be kept there for years. Every 4 or 5 years, though, it's good to take it out and kind of root prune it, maybe a third back, give it fresh soil, and that kind of renews the plant in case it's getting a little thready. But citrus is certainly good, but for like a full size, I would say I'd recommend the dwarf varieties, anything like, tangerines or smaller. Actually, Monrovia, you mentioned them earlier, and they're always a great help to us. We grew a really neat citrus in a box, which is called Trovita. And this is an Italian variety. It was just like a Valencia, but extra sweet. They're really good.
And getting back to the kumquats, I grew up with kumquats. It's kind of hard, kind of pucker up to eat them, but I guess they can be good in jams and things. But I think they look so pretty as a container planting, and I've seen some folks really successful at having them even inside their home.
This is true. You can do that if you have a sliding door. I'm glad you brought it up. You can have them, make sure they're not sitting in water. Just have a drip tray underneath them. And what a lot of folks do is they'll bring them really into the shower, and they'll give them a little shower off because, things get dusty at home.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe nobody's home here, but they do get dusty, so you want to kind of clean them off and then make sure that you have a slow-release fertilizer. But, yes, you can grow them inside. They do this. It's very popular in the Midwest and the East Coast.
And so how frequently are we watering them again?
If it's indoors and you've got an average indoor temperature, let's say above 68 to 75, you're probably only going to soak it maybe once every, I would say every 10 days or so.
Oh, good.
In the spring and summer.
That's
and
doable.
Much less in the winter because we just don't have the daylight to justify it.
Well, I know that today at the Arboretum, and you always have all these classes and things going on, and we should point out the Arboretum is in Arcadia, right near the Santa Anita racetrack, if you didn't know. But it's such a fun place just to go and take in all the different types of plants that really are so exotic from all over the world, like the cymbidiums and the orchids. And you have that going on today, right? You have a chance to, today and tomorrow, watch demonstrations, listen to speakers, and get smarter on orchids.
This is true. It's a fabulous day here. It's kind of overcast, but it's a beautiful day. We are featuring the Cymbidium Society, the local chapter from L.A. and San Gabriel. They have beautiful Cymbidium orchids. Those are the grassy ones.
Yeah.
They use for corsages, but they have cut flowers. They have plants available. It's truly a spectacular sale. It's running through tomorrow afternoon. I think it's 9 to 4:30 both days.
So here's my issue with cymbidiums. I love cymbidiums, and I had them first out in kind of in our patio area, which is covered in shade. And I was like, oh my gosh, I got it to rebloom. It was this huge victory. And then I see this friend of mine keeps them in more sunshine, and they rebloom all the time. So what am I doing wrong? Do they need more sun? I thought they liked more shade.
It's amazing. I remember we have a curator here that takes care of them in our large orchid houses. We actually have several orchid houses people can go through. And my friend Julie, that is our staff person, says starting around December, after the time change, she puts them all out into full sun in her driveway in the backyard, and she has them in full sun for 2 months. So once we go into the winter, if yours haven't bloomed for a while, just stick them out, keep them kind of together in an area, and then make sure if we do have occasionally a hot day where it's in the 80s, spray them off with a hose. They like to have their leaves sprayed off to keep the humidity high, and they will bloom better. And most people have a problem because where they're keeping them is generally near a tree, and, well, we know each year the tree gets more shade. So that's why you got to kind of bump them out and get them more in the sun, especially during the winter months, so they get that shot of sunlight.
Oh, good tip. Now, Mark, tell us about the plant sale that's going on next weekend.
Okay, we have, thank you, we have an incredible spring plant sale. It's actually a tradition here. This is instead of our normal garden show, but it's fabulous nonetheless. This will be April 2nd and 3rd.
And it's succulents and orchids and everything.
Exactly. We have many things. This is a lot of, we'll have native plants, which are California natives, those that are, taking out their yards to redo. We also have some interesting, I want to say, southern hemisphere type plants from Australia that will be evergreen, and they bloom kind of the off-season, more like winter, spring, so that's kind of nice for your beautiful yard. We have salvias, we have penstemons, and also geraniums, because they're also very thrifty with water. And these are a little bit, not your mother's geraniums, they're a little bit upscale, they're very fancy, and some of them are actually closer to succulents than we might think.
Well, thank you, Mark. If you guys want to go, just check all the information at your website, the Arboretum website, which is arboretum.org. And Mark Hall, good luck to the coming weeks, and thanks for giving us some words of advice. I can't wait to try that with my cymbidiums.
Excellent. It's been a pleasure to be with you, Cindy.
All right, we'll see you next time. And you can always find Mark in the store at the Arboretum, too. He's right there where they sell all kinds of really cute things, so check them out. All right, coming up next, speaking speaking of plants, it's not just about the plants, but it's about the hardscapes. It's about all that and making your outdoor living room feel like, well, it's your own little slice of paradise. We're going to figure out how to do it next. Cindy Dole here, and this is Home Wizards, and this is what we do. We're back right after this.
Don't believe me? Ask the dishes. They can sing, they can dance. After all, miss, this is...